Hey guys, my name is David, and I wanted to relate a story that happened to me not too long ago, which really showcases the power of AI tools and how so incredibly good that they've gotten very, very quickly. So, for some context, I work as a control systems engineer. Basically, I program pumps, motors, valves for any industry you can imagine: oil, gas, chocolate, fertilizers, you name it. And I also own an AI automation business. So, as part of my day job, I was being flown out to an interstate location in order to install a VSD. Basically, this is a variable controlled motor. So I had got to the parts list probably the day before. I'd found out about it a couple of days prior, but I received the parts list the day before. Now, this really wasn't much time to prepare for something that I was going to be going on site to install. And the client had already put together the parts, they'd ordered the parts, they had them on their site, or they had some of them on the site already, but the others were due to be arriving very shortly. And I was going to be programming this, installing it and programming it. So I didn't really have too much time to prepare for this. I brought up a couple of manuals, sort of had a good idea of how this unit was working and so on. But these sort of components have quite a lot of documentation involved, and there can be quite a bit of work to go through. So I'm an early adopter of AI. I used GPT-3 from well before it was ChatGPT. I was an early user of ChatGPT, and I've been using it every day ever since then. And so I've also used it quite a lot for work, for getting various information about certain software, and other various questions as well. So I gave my parts list to Gemini. I found Gemini was one of the best ones, but I'll talk about that later. So basically I gave it to Gemini and I said, hey, can you have a look at this parts list and help me understand how it works? I'm going to be programming it tomorrow. So what it came up with next, I was not expecting at all. It said, hey, you've got a problem here, a major problem. You have this VSD and you have this Ethernet comms card, but you need a special carrier card in between them, otherwise it's not going to work together. And I'm a skeptical person by nature, so I, of course, researched this myself. And sure enough, I dug through one of the manuals, and on page 53 or some other page, or some page really hidden deep, sure enough, it said, you need this carrier card in order to work with these parts. And I also verified this on a forum as well. Now, looking for this manual in Google would have taken a long, long time. And I don't know if I can honestly say that with the limited time frame I had, I would have actually spotted that. So I immediately let the client know, and they said, oh, can you please order it? Can you grab it today? So I live in metropolitan Melbourne, and the client was interstate in a small town with no access to these parts whatsoever. Like, they would not have been able to get this part ordered in time if we were on site when we found this out. So I managed to go get it. I took it with me on the flight. And if I hadn't done that, if this hadn't been spotted the day before, the cost to fly me out there was not cheap. And then we also have accommodation, food, and so on. And I was also being joined with another engineer as well from one of the client sites. All up, the costs were about $10,000. I would have got there, the two parts that were not compatible, would have had to go home, would have fly me back there again with this other engineer too, to do it all over again after this had been spotted. So the AI essentially spotted a mistake on the client end that could have cost them $10,000. Now, I was using AI heavily well before that, but since that moment, this honestly feels like it is a smart coworker at this point. Now, a couple of years ago, there was a lot of hype around, like, in the future, or in a couple of years, you will have an AI coworker. And I'm an early adopter, but I'm also a skeptical person by nature. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. It might be a little bit more time than that. But honestly, in the last couple of months, these tools have gotten so good that they do honestly feel like genuine coworkers, smart coworkers, the ones who have that obscure technical knowledge about a product software that you might be stuck on. And I've used Gemini, particularly Gemini, for my field control systems. Seems to be the most knowledgeable. It is trained heavily on YouTube videos, which there are a lot of those online, and so I feel like that has something to do with it. But these tools have become indispensable. Now, extending that out, this is just using Gemini in the browser. Now, using tools like Claude Code, which I use heavily as well, we are able to extend that out so much further. Any task you can think of, you can now build software on the fly in order to do it. We are only scratching the surface right now of the capabilities of these tools and their impact on the economy. We are here for where the economy is in terms of implementation of AI, and we're probably here, or probably even higher, when it comes to the actual capabilities of these models, and they're only getting better as well. So take it from someone who works in industry and someone who has a very technical background going back for a decade. These tools are incredible. Learn how to use them because they're easily the highest ROI skill we can have in 2026 and beyond. And shameless self-plug, I do help businesses implement these tools into their workflows. There's a lot of cool things we can do. If you are interested, just shoot me a message or get in touch, and I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say for now. Thank you.